Good morning, this is Mark, and today we're going to set sail with Isaiah 37 through 39, as well as Psalm 76. Isaiah 37 is one of my favorite stories. It's the story of Hezekiah and Sennacherib. It's so good that it's told 3 times in the Bible, once in Isaiah, once in 2 Kings, and again in 2 Chronicles. It's the story of Sennacherib who lays siege to a bunch of cities in Judah, and he comes to Hezekiah and says, you can join me in chapter 36. And then 37, he basically says, I'm going to lay siege to your city. And Hezekiah replies, well, my God will protect me. And Sennacherib says, yeah, that's what everybody else said. And I killed them all and I conquered them all. Isaiah goes to God and prays, as well as he goes to Isaiah and says, hey, here's the situation. And God, through Isaiah, tells Hezekiah that 1, Sennacherib will go back the way he came, and 2, that he'd be killed by the sword. So after Sennacherib surrounds the city, one evening the angel of the Lord goes and kills 185,000 of Sennacherib's army officers and army leadership. And the next morning they flee and they go back to Nineveh. Then in Nineveh, Sennacherib is put to the sword by his own sons while he's praying to his own God, which is ironic on what he said before about him being able to take over other gods and then God actually destroying him through his sons. This also parallels Psalm 76, which I'll read really quick. Psalm 76. In Judah God is known. His name is great in Israel. His abode was established in Salem, which is also another name for Jerusalem. His dwelling place in Zion. There he broke the flashing arrows, the shield, the sword, and the weapons of war. Glorious are you, more majestic than the mountains full of prey. To the stout-hearted were stripped of their spoil. They sank into deep. All the men of war were unable to use their hands. At your rebuke, O God of Jacob, both rider and horse lay stunned. But you are to be feared. Who can stand before you when once your anger is roused? From the heavens you uttered judgment. The earth feared and was still when God rose to establish judgment, to save all the humble of the earth. Surely the wrath of man shall praise you. The remnant of wrath you will put on like a belt. Make your vows to the Lord and your God and perform them. Let all around him bring gifts to him who is to be feared, who cuts off the spirit of princes, who is to be feared by the kings of the earth. Obviously, this applies to the battle with Sennacherib, but also to previous battles God's had with other enemies of the Lord, and is prophetic about God's powerfulness and judgment and eventual triumph over evil. Then in chapter 38, God talks to Hezekiah and says that he's going to die. Hezekiah falls very sick, and God says, you will surely die. And then Hezekiah prays to God and says, please don't let me die. And God says, because you've prayed, I will give you 15 more years to your life. And then God speaks to Isaiah and says, as a sign of keeping my promise of adding 15 years to Hezekiah's life, I'm going to do a miracle. And that miracle will be moving the shadow of a sundial backwards up 10 steps. And that happens. And so God miraculously heals Hezekiah, as well as he performs a miracle to let him know that, yes, for 15 more years you'll live. And as a result, the rest of 38 is Hezekiah singing and writing a prayer to God. Chapter 39 takes an ironic turn because Hezekiah, now healed, is visited by some Babylonian princes that heard that he was miraculously healed, and they wanted to give him letters and some gifts. And Hezekiah shows them all of his storehouses, all of his treasures, his whole armory. And when he tells this to Isaiah, Isaiah's like, why did you do this? Isaiah tells him that the Jews will be taken in captivity by the Babylonians. The reason I like the story of Sennacherib and Hezekiah is that even when the chips are down, Hezekiah gives us the example of talking to wise counsel and praying to God. And despite overwhelming odds that the Assyrian king is going to kill them just like he killed everybody else, God has got protection, and God's going to help us in miraculous ways. to include and up to annihilating the enemy if he has to. And just so what a great example of God taking care of us and protecting us. Have a great day, and God bless.